Hey there, welcome to another episode of Tales from the Podcast. I'm your host, JB, and I got some pretty special guests this episode. And I think we're going to go ahead and jump right into it. We got two guests. They do podcasts together. It's actually a really fun one, and you guys might have seen me on there recently, and you might actually notice one of these people from a very early episode of Tales from the Podcast. So I got my buddy Corny and Monk on. How's it going, you guys?
What's up, JB?
Not too much, man. How's everything going with you guys and your like crazy amount of shows that are under the from the Canopy network there?
Doing good, man. Doing good. And that's mostly my fault. Just got so many interests. I got a lot of free time apparently.
Well, I mean, it's not a bad thing, you know what I mean? Like you definitely I can fully admit that not every show is for me. But no matter who you are, you do have a show for basically anybody, which is really, really cool. So I mean, you've put together a great little network. That's for damn sure.
Thanks,
I'm personally a fan of your movie one, obviously, but you know, I mean, it's a lot of fun. It's pretty simple.
I want to brag a little bit and say that we review more films and more types of films than any other film show out there.
Well, yeah, hands down, dude. I will fully admit that there's so many things on there that I don't even touch. Period. Myself, you know, I can't tell you how many times I've like messaged Cordy, just like, you know, for instance, I think the last time was he posted pictures. I'm like, so how was Speed Racer? You know,
like Speed Racer is great, man. Like I wish the Wachowskis lean more into that kind of stuff than, you know, going into this crazy Matrix. I feel like if we got another Speed Racer, I'll be much happier than getting another Matrix. But
yeah, you know, I really wanted to see the Mammoth car myself. You know, that's
I was always a fan of the cartoon. Right. Hey, Sean, how's it going? And thanks, David, for tuning in. And yep, I understand exactly what you're talking about there, and we'll be getting into that a little bit as well. So, anyways, you know, just to give everybody a quick idea about you guys, first off, you guys can find the From the Canopy network over there at facebook.com/From the Canopy. And basically just, you know, same thing with their actual YouTube channel, youtube.com/C/From the Canopy network. Those will be in the show notes as well. And I didn't get a chance to get your Twitter, Monk, but I do have Corny's Twitter. I'm giving it out. So if you want to go and message Corny and have a lot of fun there, I strongly suggest messaging him all of the great movie ideas that you have, and just completely blow up his entire inbox.
Yeah, I really don't have a life. You know, I'm single with a movie collection and a couple comic books. Yeah,
a couple comic books.
I have too many comic books and too many movies. Sorry.
I will say though that you do need to get yourself into some of the horror ones. And there we go with Monks right there, Monkey Blood. And I believe that's at Twitter and Instagram. So I mean, you know, you guys can check him out there. And obviously I'll be going and wrapping back around to that too, so everyone can really get a look in at that. But anyways, though, like anything new going on with the shows?
Oh, we're just going. This is probably, at least movie-wise, one of my favorite times of the year. We get the big summer blockbusters, which honestly, I watch all kinds of films, but these are probably my favorites. You know, whether they're good or bad, I just love the big stars, the big action pieces, the big franchises, and this is my favorite time because it's almost like weekly. There's films out that I want to see. Sometimes more than one in a week, and that's amazing. Like, yeah.
Right. Sometimes they disappoint.
Yeah,
they do.
Yeah, one of the things about this year is kind of special is we pretty much have a full movie season for a change. Because I think last year it didn't really start until like mid-June, if I'm right.
Yeah.
So everything seems like it's a little bit back to normal.
Yeah, they've been pumping out quite a few, that's for sure. I know this year alone, I just recently watched like The Cursed, which was really, really good. If you guys haven't checked that one out yet.
Yeah, that's on my list.
Yeah, I was going to rent it. I missed it in theaters.
Yeah, Bob actually, our other host on co-host on the film show, he actually spoke highly of it. So
yeah,
I got to check it out. And that's what I'm saying. Like even if I don't see it or Corny doesn't see it,
one of
big
you
chance Bob is going to see it. So yeah like
right.
We cover a lot.
But I also watched Alien Sniper S, which was a total piece of shit movie.
But see, circling back to when you said some of these summer movies are bad, and like that doesn't bother me at all. Like I just love being in the theater. It's my isolation point. I could go in there. I'm definitely not going to be looking at my phone. And even if it's bad and I know it's probably going to be bad, I will still go. And even if it's bad, I feel like I've still had a good time. Just that isolation. And I love it. Like
right.
I can't knock it. Like
right. Got my buddy Ron here. You even like Moonfall? I did not watch Moonfall.
I saw it. I didn't hate it. Like it did what it had to do. Like I'm not going to tell people like, yeah, this is tour de force. You got to go see it. But I mean, I was entertained.
For it, if I get rent Moonfall from iTunes or something, I'm gonna ask for my money back from you.
I think it's on HBO, isn't it?
It might be.
No, it's Moonshot. It's Moonshot. That's a different movie.
Oh, I thought it said Moonfall. Oh,
yeah,
Moonfall. So even with Moonfall, something like that for me, if it's not super terrible, I can poke fun of it, and that's part of the entertainment value for me. As I'm in a theater, I'm like, I can't believe they did that. Like really, like that's like or some crazy escape. They're driving a car and the whole earth is crumbling around them, but they managed to hit all the spots so their vehicle will still be able to traverse, and it beat the lava flow or the earthquake or whatever. Let's go.
No, I'm 100% in on that too. That's for sure.
Yeah.
Ron says there are currently 3 movies about the moon crashing into the earth right now.
Yeah. Something.
Right. I will go ahead and say I'll put $15 on it that Asylum's done one of them. So
what would be the Asylum title?
The Fall of the Moon. It has to be super.
Like I don't know, man. Like with movies recently, have I had this epiphany where I feel like I was getting hardened, to this current wave of how people look at films, and it's like it's either excellent or it's trash, and like there's no in between. And for me, a lot of the films that I enjoy, they fall in between. Sometimes they rise above, but I feel like, overall, I feel like a lot of film criticism has just gotten too hard now. It's just like it's like, come on, man, this stuff is escapism. It's ridiculous at times, but ultimately, it's just trying to take you away and forget about your problems for a minute. Like,
I know. I trust me. I always find myself going back to like the same movies over and over again for that reason, and they're usually like the most fucked up ones too. So it's like nothing's there to make you forget about like your reality than watching people eat people and really fucked up things happen. It distracts you. It's like, you know what, my life's not so bad. I didn't get raped or like
definitely.
I really like the Fast and the Furious films, just because nobody's ever had a concussion in any of those films, and nobody's ran out of gas, or you never see anybody at a gas station.
How do they do that?
I don't know. Editing, dude. Editing.
Man, I think I watched the first one, and that was it.
I just watched the ambulance drive for almost 2 hours straight and never ran out of gas. Like that wasn't even a consideration, and I had a blast watching Michael Bay's Ambulance. Like, and I think it's getting, it's tanking right now because people have a bad taste in their mouth from Transformers. But I actually think this was worth your time, folks.
One of the things about that movie too
I
is
might have
like
to check
Michael Bay kind of complained about the effects in that film. Do you remember like a couple of days before it was released, he said the effects looked bad in it?
What in
Yeah, an ambulance. Yeah.
What?
Yeah, he talked shit about his own fucking movie. Yeah.
I mean,
he
granted,
has to beat everybody else to the punch.
he took a budget cut. Like, I didn't think so. He took a budget cut. This isn't the Transformers, so a lot of it was practical. So he didn't have the visual effects budget, but I thought it looked great. Like, there's some interesting cinematography that's going on in there. Like, he's using drones in a way I've never seen done before. So that alone was worth it for me.
Interesting.
Yeah.
I see David's talking about one of his favorite disaster movies was Earthquake. And Ron says, what if they have to pee when they're driving? They don't do that either.
Yeah, you don't have any bathroom breaks either. Yeah.
No one took a bathroom break.
Yeah. And I always have water in my car, while
Michael Payne
driving
Game
places.
Bay is talking smack about stupid FX. How ironic. Well, I mean,
Pain and Gain is a good film.
Yeah, that's kind of more
insane, but good.
That's kind of more what it reminded me of. Something that could have happened in that world,
Well, I mean, you always see a lot of like directors going back and forth, and it's like all their movies kind of fit in their world to some extent, and you always see them going like back and forth with it. And maybe Michael Bay's doing the same thing, kind of like his next movie is going to be really fucked up with the Transformers that are in there and everything else. Who knows how the fuck it's going to go with him?
Yeah. Honestly, I think he's better working with this kind of stuff. These smaller budgets, better scripts, and great actors. And yeah,
I would like him doing like a period drama, but everything's like exploding in the background. Like but like you got like a horse and buggy accident, and they, the horses explode. He's good at explosions.
I love that. Yeah. I love the idea of that.
and that 360 turn, like he had in Bad Boys. That's like the coolest. That and damn The Rock.
Yeah, man. I'm going to go see Ambulances again tomorrow because it's the best of Bay, but somehow he didn't outbay himself. He had a little bit of restraint this time, and it worked. Oh,
Bay stayed at Bay.
Yeah, he stayed.
Pride and Prejudice and explosions.
Yes.
But anyways, I had you guys watch an episode of Tales from the Crypt. And Corny, you and I have already had this conversation a little bit, but Monk, we haven't. Now, obviously, being somebody into film and everything, at some point in time, you watched this show before me. I'm certain of it. Now, with that being said, what got you interested in something like Tales from the Crypt?
It was HBO. I remember when this premiered, and it was a time when HBO late night, it's like if I was lucky, my mom wasn't paying attention, and me and my brother were up watching stuff we shouldn't have been watching in general. But then you had this weekly show, and the horror stuff, I think by this age it wasn't so scary to us. We were kind of seeking it out, and we would watch these episodes. I remember a lot of them vividly, like especially the first few seasons, like that Schwarzenegger episode, and like there's some that are just so iconic, man. And the Crypt Keeper himself brought you in a soft way, even though he can look a little crazy if you were maybe too young, but his laughter and just the song and the intro where the camera's flying into his crypt, like that was cool, man. And we watched these stories, and to me, it was just a darker, grittier Twilight Zone, like which we were already familiar with as kids, man. That would come on. That was almost kind of bedtime. I would tell you though that Tales from the Dark Side intro was way creepier than the Twilight Zone and everything else. That those trees and that weird tone and that I had to turn that off and go to sleep. You cut the TV off and you run and jump in the bed, like that was. But yeah, it was something easily, let's go, and every now and then, like my mom, it was weird. Like if you're watching something like this in violence and gore, she didn't care. Like I'm being like maybe 8, 9, 10 years old watching this stuff. But if there was some boobs, cover your eyes.
Right, there's a lot of that in this series, that's for sure.
Yeah, but everything else was like, it was open, like go, But yeah, I don't know. I immediately enjoyed it a lot. As soon as it premiered, yeah, definitely.
Right, and Corny, I mean, I think I had you on in the first season. Correct me if I'm wrong.
Really, it's been that long.
Oh yeah, I'm in season
Wow.
5 now, and yeah, I mean, I honestly can't remember off a hand, but why don't you go ahead and remind us all, like, what got you started with that?
Oh, I want to say my mom, me and her used to watch this when I was a kid, and we, I was kind of introduced to the Twilight Zone and a lot of horror films through my mom.
That's awesome.
It, like Corey said, if it was too many boobs, I had to cover my eyes. But she kind of introduced horror to me,
Right.
But I for some reason I kind of can't remember if this used to come on Wednesday night or Sunday night.
I feel like it was maybe Sunday or
you think
Saturday?
It was Sunday night? Yeah, I remember sitting. Some Sunday nights we'll be sitting down eating popcorn. My sister was too afraid of it, and my dad would be getting ready for work. So, it would just be me and my mom.
Huh. Well, that's still really, really cool. I wish, I didn't have anybody to really watch it too much with me. I was kind of sneaking it. My dad had. I guess it's okay now. I don't think you get in trouble if they stole the.
I think me and Corey are a lot older than you because I was like born in 1976.
Oh yeah. I was born in 1988. And the prime time for my dad to be having one of those black boxes stealing HBO so I could watch this shit. You remember those? Yeah.
Yeah, I remember the black boxes. Like,
I
heard about them.
That was the greatest.
I never had one.
Right.
But I'm going to tell you how old I am. I remember for this reason.
And by the way, the show did come out on Wednesdays.
Okay.
Yes. Yeah, I thought it was in the middle of the week.
I was probably catching the weekend replays of it.
Oh yeah,
because there's no way I could be up that late on a Wednesday. But
HBO didn't have a lot of shows back then, so I mean they did a lot of replays. That's for sure.
Yeah, it was either this or Dream On.
Right.
Oh,
basically.
definitely. Boy,
they
don't get caught watching Dream On. I'll tell you how old I am, man. Like, because
how old are you?
I'm 78, man. So I got 10 years on you, JB. So I remember in DC,
and my wife's older than you.
We had this thing called Super TV, and I wonder if you could Google what the Super TV cable box looked like.
I feel like it's just a regular TV that you put a cape on.
It looked like it looked like a rotary phone without the rotor, and there was a switch at the top. You would go from your regular UHF frequency to the Super TV, and it would play movies all day, and at late night it would play like porn, like hardcore porn. Like,
really,
it was crazy. I don't know how they got away with this, but I remember my aunt had it, and we would watch movies, that would come on. Like, I think at this time, Revenge of the Nerds and things like that were premiering on cable, and it was kind of cool. We saw a lot of stuff, but at a certain time of night, you had to, no kids, man. Get out of the room.
Yeah, I'm looking it up right now, like I don't see anything in here. Like I see like Vimeo channels and stuff like that.
Yeah,
I'm curious now. You know what I mean? Like, eventually, I'm gonna figure this out.
Somebody might have uploaded a Polaroid, or
right? That's what it would have to be. That's
on the Super TV. Did it have the slide deal on the?
It was like a slider on top of the thing.
Yeah,
that would go. It was kind of like cream color, but the slider was like brown. It really looked like old, low tech appliances from like the 50s.
Yeah, we had those type of cable boxes here for a while, but like most of our TV was like cable ready. We had remotes and shit. But I remember like my parents' room had that type slide TV, but it wasn't any porn on there. I searched for it.
Oh man! See, what I had just descrambled everything, so we didn't have to worry about it. I almost feel grateful that I'm younger than you guys and didn't have to deal with that.
See, all right, my last little rant, but here's what I loved about growing up in the 80s, where essentially like my formative years were in the 80s. Everything was new, and we got to experience that on a way that I don't think any other generations have. Like kids born right now in 2020, everything is here instantly, but we got to see things come out, like even something as simple as the game Simon, the electronic games,
Right.
and all the toys, the Turbo Hopper RC car, man, the Star Wars toys. Like we got to see all of this stuff as it was released and introduced to the world and the society. And I think that's something that's special for us from that generation, man. I don't think that's something that's going to be duplicated a whole lot.
Well, we got to watch all the failed ones, like the mini disc player, the HD DVD.
Yeah.
You know,
I actually have an HD DVD player.
I remember something as simple as like the first juice box coming out for lunch, like the Ecto Cooler and the milk. like you take for granted, but it's like every it seems like
I feel like that's been around forever. That's crazy. Like I did not like you're not even that old for real. Like and for you to be around when the first juice box came out, like
but at that era, like, everything was so new, man. It was
I'm trying to think about when Capri Suns came out, because they weren't always around, and now I kind of think that was like wine in a bag, like for kids back then.
I'm thinking about
1969, man. So Capri Suns are older than you. Juice boxes have been out way before you. You just made that up.
No, dude.
Those juice boxes went in the hood.
They came out in 1969, dude.
I remember Saturday morning cartoons and the stuff that was coming out with the breakfast cereals. Like I remember that, dude. Like it's a different era, man. You probably don't remember. Like by the time you were paying attention to the cereals, they didn't even have no toys. You had to send in 2 proofs of purchase to get something. Every week,
no.
We got
shitty toys. We got color changing spoons and shit. It was like barely better than a fucking Cracker Jack box.
That color changing spoon would probably give you cancer now.
Wacky ball crawlers, dude. Like that was epic. That was coming in this. I remember because I lived in a house for a period of time. It was just me and a bunch of my cousins, and the food had to keep. There's a lot of us, so you got to eat. So we were rotating who got the prize out the cereal, man, and if it was your week, oh my God, wacky wall crawlers.
I got 5 siblings, man. We just fought for that shit all the time anyway.
It was just me and my sister, and me and my parents wouldn't let us just go in the bottom of the thing and get the prize. We had to eat all that damn cereal.
You had to get it naturally.
Fuck that.
Hell no, yeah.
That toy was the first thing out before a bowl was fucking poured at my house.
My parents weren't real strict, but stuff like that they would be on my ass for. I wouldn't be having that crawler. Yeah.
I could imagine wait for like the lucky pour.
That was the thing that took them over the edge. You don't get that damn toy out of that box.
Wow.
JB, it's one thing. Like I know that Corey experienced when we were kids is whenever we saw that first Nintendo commercial. How much did you lose your shit, Corey?
I remember those, man.
JB, it's one thing. Like I know.
Well, to be fair, I did not grow up with a lot of money. Come on. First off, I had a dad stealing cable. So I had Nintendo was one of the greatest things ever in my life, too. I remember I had I didn't even have a coaxial at the time. You had to unhook it to the antenna with the 2 prongs and screw it in because that's the kind of TV we had. So
those were my Atari days.
Struggle you guys had. Because I didn't. This is how it was.
Well, if you had to pass through, you could it'll be a little slider on the back. Go to the RF to the game.
Yeah.
Yeah, man. Wow.
It was bad, but you know what? There were some good games. There were some really good games. I had a bunch of copies of the same games.
I'm grateful for having experienced that, man. Like I said, I feel like everything is just here now for the people. Maybe they improve on stuff, but everything, if you're born right now, everything is here. That's probably going to be here in the next 20 years. They might improve it a little bit, but there's no new things.
Who knows, though? We might be another 20 years, and this is going to really fuck us up with how fucking crazy shit is. We don't know.
Hey Corey, another thing, we had layaway. We didn't have no pre-orders on shit.
Yeah, layaway, and hope your parents kept up with that.
Yeah.
You couldn't get anything delivered, man. It was wow. Yeah, the mail was it was different time.
Track a package back then.
I mean, we still make it tough for you guys. I work for the post office.
I love my postal service, yo. It's actually pretty good, yo.
Yeah, my mom retired from the post office. She was a window clerk for a while.
Ah, nice. I'm a roll carrier.
Okay.
Yeah. Anyways, before we go ahead and jump into this, though, I mean, we got quite a few comments here. We got Diana Prince. The creepiest episode was the soap one, and then the ambergris one is what that's supposed to be. I'm sure if that was Steve Buscemi, which is a really, really good one when they turn that. Yeah. The comic book was really different on that one. That's for sure. Yeah, basically. Let's see here. I'm not sure what this is in reference. Is that a remake of Outer Limits, Corny? This was that was a while ago. Ron sitting there teasing because like, and you call me old. Yes, Ron, I do call you old all the time, and it's okay.
Outer Limits did have like a scary. I think the Outer Limits opening.
I think it's probably their intro.
Was scarier than Twilight Zone.
Right. Yeah. Well. Yeah, I mean the Twilight Zone intro really, like, honestly wasn't that scary. Maybe it was scary for the people that like watched it when it first came out originally, but for me it really wasn't too scary. Yeah, we got my buddy Chuck here. What's going on? Or what's up, guys? Hey, Chuck, how's it going, buddy? And Minky. Hey, what's up?
Monkey Blood. That's me. I was like, if you read the comments, it's like, where's that? Maybe that's on the YouTube. Let me go there.
Yeah, that's on YouTube. Yeah. I mean, the comments are all over the place here. Yeah. Shit, I had the first NES when it came out and got Dragon Warrior when it came out.
Nice.
NES was awesome. That's for sure. And when the net goes out, I know how to use a phone book and a map. Kids today don't. That's fair. You're right. I fortunately know how to use all that too.
Where you gonna get a phone book from, though?
As a postal carrier, I'll tell you right now, I deliver a lot of fucking phone books for some reason.
Really?
I don't know why. I'm not sure why people are getting them, but they fucking do. They don't. It's like mostly like a book of yellow pages at this point, though. But it is what it is. You know what I mean? But anyways, we're going to jump into this episode, talk a little bit about who's in it and everything. So this episode, which is, oh my God, I can't believe I lost my spot already. Creep Course, which is based off of Haunted Fear issue number 23. And this was originally aired November 10th of 1993. I would have been 5, guys. 5 years old.
93? How old was I in 93?
What month is 93?
November.
I was
8th grade, dude. No, 93. I was in.
You should have been in high school. Yeah, I was in 11th grade. I was in 11th grade, and I was a senior. Because I graduated in 94, so I was 17.
Nice. I was kindergarten. Yes. And hey, we got our good buddy here, Michael Raven Shadow, joining us. Hey, man, he says, "What's up, Corny and Corey? How's it going, Raven Shadow? Thanks for dropping in." He gets Ron
That's
all
another
excited.
76er.
Another 76er.
Raven Shadow's a sweet motherfucker, though. That's for sure.
Yeah, I stayed in this house and peed in the shower.
Yeah,
you don't get out of bed. You don't get out of the shower.
That by the way, Monk, that link didn't work for me.
I noticed it didn't work. Guys have got to see this craziness.
76 for life. I don't think you can change it. Yes, you did. Oh God, yeah. Well, I mean,
Oh,
what can you
God.
do? It's done and over with now.
Yeah, I might not be invited back anytime soon, but
Oh, I'm sure if you just show up, you'll be fine.
yeah,
But
post-COVID
anyways,
at least.
right. Anyways, this episode, the screenplay as well as the directing was done by Jeffrey Boehm. Probably mostly known for doing like well, I mean, as far as directing goes, this was basically his only real directing credit out there. But he did do a lot of writing, including The Dead Zone, Lethal Weapon, Lost Boys, Funny Farm, Indiana Jones: The Last Crusade,
Really?
Lethal Weapon 2, 3, Witches of Eastwick, The Phantom. Yeah, this dude has he's like he only has like 14 credits as far as writing goes, but almost every fucking one of them is a fucking hit.
Phantom's a good movie. I hadn't seen it in a long time, but I remember liking that film a lot.
Oh yeah,
No, his
that
name's
was a
just
lot
Ken.
of fun. Hell, one of my favorite comedies is Funny Farm.
Yeah.
I fucking love that movie. That's for sure. And then going ahead and jumping into the cast a little bit. Obviously, there's some people in here that I'm going to mention. A few. I mean, there's barely like Ivan Roth. The guy's done a little bit of TV here and there, and he played a mummy in this episode. Really didn't. You know what I mean?
Couldn't tell that was him.
Huh?
I couldn't tell that was him.
No. I just do a lot of research on it, so that's the only way I knew. But I bet you knew that the Professor Finley, was Jeffrey Jones.
Yeah,
Jeffrey Jones, man, a controversial figure, but he's also been iconic in a lot of things. I mean, it's been a lot.
Yeah.
Howard the Duck,
Beetlejuice,
Deadwood.
Beetlejuice. Yeah,
I mean, yeah, he was in the Sleepy Hollow movie. I mean,
yep.
That dude's been in a shit ton of stuff.
Mom and Dad Saved the World.
Yeah, that was a good one too. He's definitely done his fair share. Ferris Bueller, he was in that too.
Yeah,
he was definitely big '80s guy. Like,
yeah,
it was hot. He was, he had a big run of work.
Right. I mean, the guy still does a little bit of stuff. I think the last thing he did was the Deadwood, the movie. But I mean, his character and that was fucking awesome too. He even did some voice acting too, because I know he did some stuff on Invader Zim back in the day too. So I mean, the guy's definitely been around, that's for sure. Another very iconic actor in this episode, Anthony Michael Hall. And I mean, some of his later stuff I didn't really care for as much, but I mean, he was National Lampoon's Vacation. He was Rusty. 16 Candles, Breakfast Club, Weird Science. I mean,
I'm not feeling him a lot lately because he kind of
No.
helps think up Halloween Kills.
Yeah, no, I you're not wrong.
It's April. It's April, Corey. Get over it. It's been.
He's not wrong.
Yeah, that he rallied fired all these people up. Oh man,
Anthony Michael Hall, shitty Tommy Doyle.
Yeah, dude, come on, man. Tommy Doyle was kind of cool.
Evil dies
alert.
Yeah.
Evil didn't die that night.
Paul Rudd was the best Tommy Doyle. There we go. Oh man, but no, yeah, he. Oh god, me and Ron's actually had a lot of talks about that movie, the Halloween one. That's for sure. Yeah.
I'm trying to forget, man, until I saw this episode. I was like, oh, it's Anthony Michael Hall. Oh man.
Well, I mean,
he was in a Dark Knight.
Win them all.
Yeah, he was in a Dark Knight too.
For real?
Yeah.
Was he in the Dark Knight?
He was a TV host.
Oh, okay.
Right.
Yeah, because you remember at one time everybody thought he was like, that was Anthony Michael Hall, wasn't it?
In Dark Knight?
Yeah.
I believe so.
Yeah, he was. You remember the guy was trying to
in Dark Knight.
Bruce Wayne?
Yeah, Engel. That's who he is. Yeah.
Because everybody thought everybody was thinking he was going to be the Riddler, and he just ended up being a TV host. Because
Well, I mean, could he really be the Riddler? No. Anyways, go ahead, jumping back a little bit. There we go. There's your Super TV logo. When I saw that, but I was expecting to actually find a picture of the actual.
I'm looking, man. I don't think no one has them.
I don't think so either.
They died.
That shit like a TV off a video drone or something like that.
Yeah,
You sure that
basically.
didn't cover for that Corberg film?
You know what's funny? I think that was only in DC, the Super TV. So whoever brought that cable system to DC, but shortly after we got HBO and they came in with their own box, and then the bigger cable, channels started coming. I think USA was one of the big first ones, which was great because we got Rhonda, we got I think Joe Bob, and
Gilbert
doing
Gottfried.
the weekend. Yeah,
Rest in
Gilbert
peace.
Gottfried doing
Yeah.
those weekend
Up All Night.
movies. That was great, dude. Up All Night. Yeah, man, that was a good era, dude. You kids.
Hey, what can you do? What can you do? In this episode, we also have somebody whose last name I'm gonna fuck up. Nina Simazesco.
Ooh, you did fuck it up.
I did?
Yeah.
Yeah. There you
Have
go.
you done anything
I called
other
it.
than this?
Huh?
Have you done anything other than this? Like,
Oh yeah. Not like Airheads was probably the best thing. She played Susie in
I
Airheads.
remember that.
Okay.
Other than that, it's like mostly TV. A bunch of shows I didn't watch, like like The West
curious.
Wing.
Yeah,
It just things that's just not for me personally.
Yeah, that was like a boomer show.
Yeah, basically.
I was aware of it. Like, wasn't that Martin Sheen?
Yeah, it's Martin Sheen was the
was
president.
the president.
Yeah.
Oh shit!
Yeah,
I think it had a lot of run
watch
though.
it.
It was a really popular show.
Oh yeah, I knew it was popular. Just some things just aren't made for me, or it's one of those
At that
situations.
age, I was not watching that or L.A. Law.
Yeah,
No.
like if it's the West Wing, if I had insomnia and I could find a West Wing.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
You cut out too.
No, I didn't.
I didn't hear anything you said.
Oh, I said if I had insomnia and there was a West Wing episode on, I wouldn't have a problem going to sleep.
You know what I used to watch for that too? Jag. Yo, it was alright. It was like Top Gun, but in court. Like,
Wow. Yeah. My go-to, like, try to go to sleep shows, like, especially lately, has been Space Ghost Coast to Coast. Oh man. As far as the main cast, though, I mean that basically does it, though. I guess to dive into the plot of this episode is pretty basic. We got a professor who's kind of fucking with the football guy who, his grades are bad, so he's kind of, messing with him a little bit, and he notices that this girl, basically knows her shit when it comes to this class, and it's about ancient civilizations. And after him basically being threatened that, he's going to end up not getting a good enough grade to pass and play football, he ends up going to this girl. Girl ends up kind of really not too interested with everything because, he's, at first he wants to study, then he kind of doesn't, and, kind of has this scheme of getting her in there so he can go and steal the midterms. And, kind of like, does the very typical thing where like takes the glasses off the ugly girl. Now she's pretty, gives her a kiss and convinces her to do what she wants or do what he wants. Gets him over to the house. Basically she's been played by both people. The guy ends up, or the football player, Anthony Michael Hall, ends up throwing her into a tomb in which she remembers everything the teacher said and ends up acting like what's it, Nephis?
Nefertiti.
Yeah, there we go. And ends up, basically playing this part to get the mummy more on her side and not kill her. While this is all going on, the professor and Anthony Michael Hall's character are kind of, renegotiating their terms on, what just happened. And the professor ends up basically giving him a potion, which is making him basically drain all of his organs through his mouth and ass. And, kind of, yeah. Basically starting the mummification process on him, which, may I add, to this day, I would still like to see another reenactment of Michael Anthony Hall going through the mummification process. But anyways, he ends up. he ends up going and dying right there on the spot. And then the professor ends up going downstairs, which he notices the tomb just opens back up, goes inside, and ends up being choked out by the mummy, who is now kind of under her kind of control, which they basically in the episode right there too, which doesn't really give you too much of an idea of what happened, but a very interesting version of it to begin with. um Now, just curious, not every time do I do this and somebody is actually really wanting the comic book, but Corny, I know you were actually, really interested in wanting that comic book version of this one. And Monk, did you get a chance to check that one out as well?
I didn't finish it like just before we got started, but I did notice like at least the beginning a big difference that I think I don't know, like this episode was solid, but I think if they explored some of the stuff that was in that comic version, this thing might have been amped up a little bit more.
Right. Well, I mean, depending on how far you got into the comic book,
it was a different.
Yeah, there was almost two endings.
Mm-hmm.
So I mean, if you didn't finish it all the way, you're like, oh well, this is the ending. It wasn't.
Well,
So
I will start with well, at least the show. Like I was entertained. It's kind of one of these things. Like you said, the professor does have ulterior motives just by even inviting what was her name? The student
Stella Bishop.
Stella, yeah, inviting her to the house just under the pretense of studying more of this, Egyptian mythology. I thought that was kind of cool to work that in there. But then also you realize that Anthony Michael Hall's character is Skolnick. He's in on it too, so he's kind of helping to encourage her to do that. And basically the professor is planning to sacrifice her to the mummy. And I thought that was interesting, man. And the one thing about this mummy stuff, every iteration of any mummy, anything, they always mention how they remove the brain, which is the hook through the nose, to pull the brain out.
Yeah.
I thought that was great, and even the way that played out, man, it was kind of fun. But then, after the professor and Skolnick seemingly make a deal, you see and this is the weird part, man. The bad guy always telegraphs what he's going to do, so he tells them the story about how they remove the rest of the organs. So then I'm watching this thing, it's like, oh my god, he drank that drink, and this was I hollered watching this, yo, when basically saying they would give him something to dissolve the insides, and they would just ooze out of the other orifices, and they would scoop it up or put it in a jar or whatever. And you see him sitting there, and all of a sudden, this brown trickle comes out of the bottom of his jeans, and he's like, "Oh!" and this stuff's coming out of his mouth. And I laughed out loud because I was like, "Yo, they did it! You have to put that in there," and then they did it, and they worked, man. Like that was a great moment. That was the highlight of the episode for me, man. Like seeing that. But going back to the differences in the book, I think what's interesting in the book is, it's controversial. I see why they changed it up. The sexism, you were alluding to. And this character, Stella, she's got more agency in what's going on. She's failing badly in the class. So her whole game is to woo, basically seduce this college professor. And even in the book, as this thing is unfolding, they're like, yeah, I'm going to sleep with him, and he's going to give me the passing grade. But it unfolds way differently, and I think there's a couple moments in there that are kind of interesting too, because her friends like, you're going on a blind date and there's all these women missing. so in the story,
but she also knows who the blind date is.
Yeah.
Which doesn't. That was something I always found was like really odd. It's like, is it really a blind date when 2 seconds later you say who it is?
Yeah.
It was so badly written, but then. Now, like this, honestly, it's probably the first EC book that I've actually read print in. Reading that story. I'm glad you shared that with me. But just seeing how the writing was skewed, I could definitely see how parents were a little alarmed and the sensibilities at the time, because it's trashy. You know what I'm saying? You got this character that's taking agency at a time where people are just kind of stuck up. Like that's unbecoming of a young woman to.
There's an uncomfortable sexiness to the comic book, which you don't really expect going into it.
But honestly, it's like a fantasy you would read in Playboy back then on the parts that didn't have pictures. Like this would be a story,
right.
like that seduction part. Like the teacher and the student. It's a fantasy and it's crazy. But like, and she goes there like fully like, all right, I'm working on them. I've been wearing my lowest cut dresses and sitting a certain way in class this whole time, and he notices her. And honestly, it's on him because he's got the the ultimate power in this, and he goes after her. And by inviting her to a house, she thinks it's to have sex so she can get the grade, but nah, this is the sacrifice for the mummy. And I think it's interesting when they go into the basement, we find all these other women because they talk about people disappearing on campus. So that's about as far as I got. And I think that would have probably made a more interesting story if maybe she comes to check out the professor and he throws her in the basement and there's all these other girls there. And maybe then the story is them figuring out how to fight their way out and, escape the mummy and him like that. I don't know.
The thing is, it wasn't a mummy in the comic. It was he kind of had like
oh yeah, the animals.
Yeah, he had animals in it.
Right, but that was just a dream.
Yeah,
that was a dream.
Yeah, he ended up just putting on the pharaoh's garb and mummifying her, and that's it.
Yeah. At the end of the real story. I mean, because
she
wakes up.
Very, very lackluster ending to that story in comparison. It's like, and then he mummified her. It's like, huh?
Yeah, I do have a question. Though. What I did find interesting was that comic book is intro by a witch. Like we don't the comic book version. The story's intro by a witch.
Yes. Actually, if you look at the top of my hat, you'll see all three hosts. There's the Crypt Keeper, the Vault Keeper, and the Old Witch. They told, that's all most of the stories.
I guess they called it the Witch's Corner, or that specific, I guess section that it was under. So that was interesting. I didn't know anything about that. I thought it was just all Crypt Keeper,
Right. Well, I mean, they kind of started to explore some of it in the 70s with the Amicus films because we did have a Vault of Horror film and a Tales from the Crypt film. We never got anything with the Old Witch, though, unfortunately. But, I mean, going back to even some of the older comic books, like the crime suspense stories really wouldn't have had him. But, like, like the Crypt of Terror, for instance, you'll see on this cover here, it does show all three.
Oh,
so, on a lot of them, it did show it, but... it just depended on, which comic book series you were going for. Because a lot of the EC books, like Tales from the Crypt is not just based off of Tales from the Crypt comic books. Vault of Horror, Haunt of Fear, crime suspense stories. I mean, there's so many different comic books that the TV show is actually based off of itself.
All right. So let me ask you this, though. So you saw the episode or you saw the comic. Which one do you think actually had a much sinister tone? Like when you get to the gist of it, like I feel like that comic for some reason is just a lot more harder, even though this has a gore and all that in the show. But that story, that setup and all that's kind of some dark shit, dude. Like,
well, yeah, I mean, it kind of almost gave me more of a crime suspense story kind of feel to it, but that's just me because I've read a lot of these comic books. But like the crime suspense stories, you get more of like these love type stories, and they really put women in like a negative light, and like them having her trying to seduce him, and all these things, and it's basically like like these are the things that could happen to you if and if you're a woman in the 50s trying to seduce a man, and somebody that is like a forbidden type person, and it's just kind of weird the way they go about it, but I could see how it would be more sinister, but it's kind of like just like the way they put it out there, and then
and the episode itself made Stella a nerd, and
right.
kind of
Well, I mean, you got what 40 years in between.
Yeah.
So
but also, and then it was a guy taking advantage of her, and
right.
Really, two guys taking advantage of her, one to be sacrificed and use her as a sacrifice, and other guy trying to help his grade out.
That's true. That's true.
I mean, for me, it's interesting because, like in the comic, it's like they're pushing the boundaries, but at the same time, they're almost reinforcing kind of that puritanism, like basically like she was asking for it. The way it's presented, it's definitely negative for her to be acting like this, and that ended up putting her in danger. And that's really wild, dude. Like,
right. Well, I guess
crazy.
this is like trying to put your mind in the mindset of a man from the 50s. Like, I don't have a lot to relate with it, but I mean,
This is
obviously
interesting.
they were really, really scared of what women did and how they went about doing things back then. There were a lot of issues, that's for sure. Anyways, though, Monk, just say you had to give this a rating between 1 and 10, 10 being the highest. Where would you throw this episode?
I'm probably putting it about a 6 for me. It had a couple moments that made me chuckle, but the ending was, I'm not going to say it's uneventful, but like that was kind of weird too. Like in the way that I feel like the comic book version played up her sexuality, and kind of exploited that. I feel like this episode kind of did that by bringing our Stella back just half naked, with like it's like.
Right. Well, I
it's
guess I
weird.
probably
Like,
should have added like the real end scene of it was Stella like being arrested, and both the men were like half mummified as like a school project that she got an A+ on. Which
and
if they
she
gave her an
comes
A+,
back on the
though,
scene.
man.
Yeah, after the mummy should have killed her, instead she remembers her stuff, and I don't even know how that works. Like, just because you remember the history, now I'm not going to kill you. But I don't know. But anyway, but she comes back like the Egyptian Elvira now. Like,
Right. No, I mean, you can see somebody kind of going crazy after seeing something like that too, though.
Yeah.
It's just it's hard to explain. Anyways, Corny, where would you rate this episode at?
I'll give it a 5. One of the things that's kind of insane to me, it seems like she might have had sex with the mummy.
Well, I mean,
does Jeffrey Jones kind of imply that?
Yeah.
And also, how the fuck does this mummy know English? Without a fucking brain.
Well, you're right. There's no brain there. To be fair, though, I mean,
like she's speaking.
Mummies are pretty hard and stiff, so I mean, she probably at least got a good lay.
Wow.
And then I'll tell you one thing. You know what Jeffrey Jones got in trouble for? Is might have been like somewhat questionable artwork. Everything was kind of popping in my head every time he would say something that he had hidden in the house, or that's the only thing that kept on popping in my head, that he had something to hide in that house.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it's weird.
Correct me if I'm wrong, but like, didn't he also get in trouble for like failing to register as a sex offender too?
Yeah, that's one of his real life crimes. Yeah, it's weird too, man.
Yeah, that's the only thing that kept on popping in my head when I was watching it. It's some questionable artwork there.
I did like the look of the main mummy though. They did a good job, I think, with that. Just the overall, like the makeup and the design of the mummy. Yeah, I feel like that's where all the budget went, man. Because like this thing goes through so fast. I think we spend most of the movie with the setup, but then by the time the house comes, that's over. By the time they get into the house, that's over. And like after the cigar scene, which bothered me too. Anthony Michael Hall, Skolnick, helped himself to Finley cigars without asking, and that really messed me, dude. That really rubbed me the wrong way.
All the things in this that could have possibly rubbed me the wrong way.
Not a good house guest at all.
No. Well, I mean, who was really in the wrong there? Was it Anthony Michael Hall's character or the professor? Like, think about it. Like, the professor had him in there, gave him a drink, and did not even offer him a fucking cigar.
Yeah, but
after him having to coax a lady to her fucking death by mummy.
But the professor wasn't.
If you
smoking
kill somebody by mummy, wouldn't you offer your partner a cigar?
See, this professor wasn't smoking a cigar, so maybe he was like, well, maybe the professor just wasn't the type of person to assume that everyone smoked cigars. And maybe. And maybe if he had pulled out one himself, he probably would have offered one to Anthony Michael Hall. But Anthony Michael Hall is messing around with his stuff, moving, like, come on, man, you can't just be
Maybe the cigar was really the last straw that made him give him the potion that fucking made him fucking have that violent diarrhea.
So.
I got one I got one better for about this episode with you guys. The girl was going to the professor's house anyway.
Yeah.
What the fuck was Anthony Michael Hall doing? Even though he needed the
I think he was going there to get the grade done.
Yeah, he was getting the grade, but why did the two of them collude? Because he was going there anyway.
Yeah, I don't get that. I don't know why he was wooing her in the first place. Because at that point we didn't, like, him and the professor weren't cool. They hadn't really communicated.
Well, obviously,
trying to get her. Like I said, she was heading to the house anyway.
Well, we don't know when their plan started, because for all we know, their plan could have started before this episode even started. They could have already been to the point where it's like, you know what, I'm going to make you look bad, so then you're going around looking for tutors from my class, and those are the people that are being abducted year after year. Yeah. So I mean, we don't really know exactly that aspect of it. So and then when he hears the screaming and goes down there, it's obviously to help him. So he keeps his part of the deal, because clearly the professor was having issues just getting her in there by herself to begin with. Yeah. But I mean, it's really hard saying for that part of it. I mean, I will say personally, though, overall, it wasn't a bad episode. I'm going to go ahead and give it like a 6.5 myself. And that's completely because I always enjoy something when we get like a Egyptian mummy kind of relation back to it. And I mean, even going back to stuff like, Brendan Fraser's mummy movies and stuff. I mean, I fucking love those movies.
Mummy movies. What's one of your favorite mummy movies?
I really, I'm not gonna lie to you, man. I really like the Brendan Fraser one a lot. Yeah. I don't care what anybody says. I mean, that's a great fucking movie. Mm-hmm. The CGI doesn't really hold up today as good, but I mean, the movie itself is fucking great. I
want to point out too, he broke his back giving us that series. Like, that's why he's kind of like he is now, and how he disappeared for a long time from film, man. He got really injured on, making those films, man. And he sacrificed himself, dude. And I thought they were great, man. Like, I enjoyed them a lot.
Well, minus the third one. I didn't care for the third one as much. And I will say, like, as a kid, I was a huge fan of like Under Wraps. But I mean, they came out in the early 90s. You guys were probably too old for that one. But
actually, I'll be honest with you. Mommy Dearest is my favorite mommy movie. No more wire hangers.
Well, I'm gonna say
I like the Brendan Fraser films.
I love those Brendan Fraser films too. But the one that I like that's so goofy and ridiculous is Bubba Hotep, man. Like,
I forget about Bubba Hotep. Yeah,
love that movie, man. Like what's his name?
Bruce Campbell.
The mayor from Do the Right Thing, man.
Ozzie Davis.
Ozzie Davis playing Kennedy, and it's it's so ridiculous. The whole premise. Then you got the crazy Elvis over here. He's like, they took my brain out. I love that movie, man.
I mean, they all around us did a really, really fucking good job with it.
Yeah.
That's for sure. David's chiming in, and he likes the original Universal monster mummy films, which I mean, you got to some extent really enjoy those too. I mean, they're not bad, that's for sure. I will say that I didn't really care for the Tom Cruise one as much. But then again, I don't really care for Tom Cruise.
It was overdone, but he did run.
Yeah, he ran. That made it work. That'll get like 3 stars off top for me just because he ran.
Yeah.
I'm an easy sell, man. Like Tom Cruise is like, he can't do nothing wrong in my eyes, man. Like, this is ridiculous, but it's sad. I go see everything.
Really?
I'm waiting for Top Gun. I'm gonna predict this now. Y'all can mark it down. I'm taking bets, $1 each. Top Gun is going to do $1 billion. Top Gun 2, it's going to do $1 billion. Yep.
I don't think so.
Trust me. The American Sniper audience is going to latch onto that it's going to do $1 billion. And I'm telling you, people are under mess of like that's one thing too I miss from the 80s, just big cultural moments that on in the network and in the like afterwards we can look at it and be like, man, Top Gun wasn't that great. But at the time when Top Gun came out, it was such a beast in the culture and the lexicon of entertainment. I feel like we're going to get that again. The people have been waiting. We haven't seen Tom run in a long time. He's going to run to his chest.
That's because he's getting old.
And it's going to, I'm telling you, watch what I'm saying. Like, so, all right, yeah. We're gonna try to bring that up as we get into the end of this. Let's finish this up, and I'm gonna bring that as a sidebar discussion.
Fair enough. I mean, don't get me wrong. The guy's doing a lot of stuff. That's for sure. I mean, he has the new Top Gun movie that's already completed. Mission Impossible 7 in post production. He's filming Mission Impossible 8. How many fucking missions are there that are impossible?
Yeah, I don't know. You need to do another kind of movie with other missions because they're good usually, but I don't remember the last one at all. I watched it, but I don't remember anything from it.
Yeah, I mean, I heard his Jack Reacher was pretty shitty though. I didn't watch it. I mean, I'll be honest with you. The last thing that I watched with Tom Cruise that I enjoyed was probably Interview with the Vampire.
Wow, yeah.
Man. There's just something about that guy that rubs me the wrong way. Kind of like
I want to see a whole
like
movie.
Nicolas Cage or fucking Will Smith. There's just something about those guys I just don't like.
I need to see a whole movie.
No, there's just something about his face where I really wish it was on fire, like in Ghost Rider. Like I wish somebody would just burn the shit out of that dude.
I want to see a whole movie with Tom Cruise as the character he was in Tropic Thunder. Like that's what I want to see.
Yeah, that would be cool.
That would be crazy.
And if he ran in that.
Yeah, he got
he ran in it. Oh god.
Oh my god, yo, as long as he can run, man, he's gonna make money, dude. Once he stops, when they have to CGI him running, it's over. It's over.
Well, I mean, let's just be realistic. I mean, how long do we have until that's the case?
How old is he now, though? How old is
Tom Cruise? God damn! I mean, that dude's he was born in 62.
Yeah, he's about to be 60. He's about to play Maverick again. Wow.
Yeah, I know. A lot of people die in their 60s, man. We might not have him for very much longer. He needs to fucking just take it easy.
You age out as a
you scared the hell out of me. I'm 45. That just means I have. I mean, I just have 15 years left. Shut the fuck up.
But wouldn't you age out as a real fighter pilot at 59, dude? Like, what is going on here?
I don't know.
Yeah. He must have had like LASIK surgery or something like that. You can't be flying jets.
They're doing the de-aging on him because he looks like.
there is an age limit on being a fighter pilot.
There is.
Oh my god! Of course, it just says the fighter. It doesn't really say anything about it. To become a Naval or Marine Corps aviator, you must be between the ages of 19 and 26 at the time you enter. So I'm blah blah blah. Average waivers up to the age of 35 are considered. Yeah. I mean, so he's like double the age, basically.
So the age range is quite broad because fighter pilots can work up to 60 years old. Wow.
Really?
Man, he just turned 59.
He's gonna be 60. He's gonna be 60 in like July or something like that.
Well, we've had fighter pilots working at 60, man. If you watch Iron Eagle, Chappie had to be like 60.
All the examples come from movies.
That's where we at, man. We watch movies. I can do this all day. We can go.
Man.
You go quote Captain America and talk about Iron Eagle. What the fuck?
We'll quote the Captain America from '92.
They said the mandatory retirement age is 65. But it doesn't say that they're pilots then. That's just for being in the U.S. military.
Wow, dude, that's crazy.
Yeah, I don't know. I don't know. I mean,
Yeah, it's wild, man. Damn.
yeah, it's fucking crazy.
$1 billion though, trust me, $1 billion. Because I was trying to figure out what the
I'm gonna
top
be curious
movies.
now.
I was trying to figure out what the top movies this summer are going to be because we got some big ones coming. So we got Multiverse of Madness.
Yeah,
We got Jurassic World 3, which I think is going to be one of the top movies of this year. What else we got? We got Thor: Love and Thunder. It's probably going to do well. Top Gun. We got Top Gun.
yeah.
We got like some big stuff coming, man. What else is coming out?
We got Wakanda Forever this year too, don't we?
Yeah. I feel like that's going to get pushed, dude. Like, don't quote me on it, but I think that's going to get pushed probably because COVID-related post-production issues, which is affecting a lot of movies right now.
Yeah,
what else?
that's
What's
for
BT
sure.
got? We got Shazam 2 is coming out this year. Just got pushed up, and maybe is Aquaman coming?
No, that's next year.
All right, they got another one though coming this year, I think.
Hotel Transylvania 4.
Yeah, that's not going to be
let's see, like
Lightyear. Lightyear is going to do a lot of that. Might possibly.
Well, that's a kids movie. That's not fair.
But still, it's Pixar.
Yeah.
People have been starving. Buzz Lightyear's a big character.
Spider-Verse 2 comes out this year too.
Yeah, Spider-Verse 2.
Yeah,
that's
Fantastic Beasts. I mean, I don't know how that's been doing. That one's already out though. I think that came out today, didn't it?
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't think those have been doing that great compared to the Potter films. I don't know. Corny could correct me if I'm wrong.
Right. I don't keep up with the numbers. I just
what about the Northman?
Northman's probably going to do good compared for what it is, man. We gotta. I think that's going to come through kind of like 300 did. You know, something with a modest budget that's going to really do great because them trailers are looking like heavy metal, rock and roll, like
right. I mean, you're right though. There are a lot of big ones. You got that fucking shit studio, fucking Blumhouse putting out the new Firestarter.
But honestly, that might eclipse the original, man. Have you seen that original one? I enjoyed it because I'm like an 80s baby, but it's not the greatest. It's one of those ones you got. I really allow a lot of bullshit.
The new one is a Blumhouse movie with Zac Efron. I mean, the movie in my head can already go fuck itself. But, I'd rather go watch the new Chip and Dale Rescue Rangers movie.
It's not bad though. I just watched him in Sonic 2. He did all right.
That one I heard is actually doing really good. And don't forget too. I think there's a Bob's Burgers movie this year.
Oh yeah, Bob's Burgers really popular. I've never seen it, but
dude, it's good. It's fun. It's funny.
It's good.
Yeah. You forget the biggest of blockbusters, the Avatar 2.
I don't know. I don't think that's
don't sleep on James Cameron.
I think that's going to do it because the thing with Cameron, me and Corny talk about this all the time. He's going to bring through some kind of innovation, man, that's going to draw you in there. And honestly, no one has done 3D as well as him since then because no one shoots in 3D like he does. Like all this.
Is this one going to be in 3D?
Yeah. All this other 3D is post-production 3D. He actually films it in 3D, so there's an extra level to his stuff. Like I haven't seen anything yet that looked as good as that.
Alita Battle Angel looked real good too, but he produced that film.
Yeah.
Black Adam's coming out this year too. The new Halloween is coming out.
I don't know.
Oh, don't forget too, man. We got Hocus Pocus 2 coming out this year as well.
Is that going to theaters or are they going to Disney Plus?
There's no way that has to be going to fucking theaters.
What's Hocus Pocus? That's not Disney though.
That's
Disney.
Oh, it is.
Yeah, I mean that's probably gonna be a really big fucking release for real.
Yeah, let me see. Hocus Pocus 2. It just says we don't have a date for that one yet. But Bette Midler's back.
Release date they're saying November 11th, 2022.
Sure.
That's what they're. Oh, never mind. That's the wrong one. Sorry. To be announced October 2022.
Yeah, man. But I think Dinosaurs or the Jetman or Spider-Man.
There is a lot of really good movies coming out this year.
Because Strange is strong, but I think it's going to do great, but I don't think it's going to get like we're not getting end game levels type stuff.
I wouldn't doubt Marvel on that.
Yeah, I don't know. We're gonna get that billion, but I think the dinosaurs are gonna outdo it, man. Little kids and families and stuff like that. It's
I
wild.
don't know. The last one didn't do nearly as good as that first one after they came back. It's gonna be hard for that one to fucking do it.
But they've got everybody back though. That's the difference.
Well, yeah, I mean, you got fucking you're right.
Yeah,
Goldblum,
man, that's
Neil.
the big difference.
Yeah, I mean.
It's tough to
Gotta
call
wait
it.
and see. Gotta wait and see.
The
I'm gonna tell you right
biggest
now, of
thing
all
on-
those movies, though, Top Gun's not gonna be the top of them.
It's gonna do $1 billion, though. Trust me. Yo, I
Right.
was telling
If
Corny,
that does $1 billion, fucking the new Jurassic World's gonna do like 1.7.
I was telling Corny they're probably gonna get Billie Eilish to redo Danger Zone. It's a rap, please. It's a rap.
I hope they do. Anyway,
I don't know. As you can see, I'm chaotic, man. I love the chaos.
No, for real. Before we go ahead, though, start to wrap everything up. It's getting late. I'm going to go ahead and catch up on these comments here. Michael Raven Shadow, I an eagle like a mug. We got Diana right here. Johnny Depp's getting up there. Yeah, he is. And fortunately for that guy, I think his whole divorce, or not divorce, but that whole lawsuit's on TV.
Oh, that's a hot mess right now.
Yeah, Rob, where's the Thor trailer, man? Where's the Thor trailer? What are they doing?
Yeah, who knows? Kind of funny how there hasn't been a trailer for Love and Thunder, and it's coming out in like 2 months. Yeah. Kids in the Hall's back next month. You're right. Yeah. Hopefully that holds up. Zac Efron's not a bad actor. He was great as Ted Bundy. I mean,
I agree, Ron.
Okay, all right. Like for real, I like you, Ron, dude. You're my buddy. I mean,
Baywatch.
How many roles has the guy done, right? And like, say he has like 50 credits. I don't know exactly how many he has, but I mean, let's just say, safe. He probably has at least 50.
I'm trying to think if I ever seen Zac Efron in a movie other than was he in that? Was he in the
High School Musical? He has at the moment 65 credits. So of 65 credits, you got one that he was good in. I'm sorry, that still makes him a piece of shit actor.
Gold is good though.
Like the percentage rate on that is just fucking horrible.
Yeah,
Dang.
I mean, looking at the list of things, and there's a lot of stuff that I skipped over, dude. Like,
yeah, for real. Like, I mean, yeah, he says people shit on Robert Pattinson, and then he was Batman. Well, I mean, Robert Pattinson actually did some good shit, though. I mean, we all saw like things like The Lighthouse where he fucking killed it.
Yeah.
So I mean, the dude proved his acting chops. He wasn't in High School Musical, Save Ralph, The Beach Bum, Baywatch. I mean, everything that this guy's in, Zac Efron just is a fail. Neighbors 2, Neighbors 3.
There was a Neighbors 3?
Yeah, apparently. The Paperboy. I'm assuming that's based off of the video game.
No, it's not. But I see that cover and I can't bring myself to click on it. I've seen it on like Hulu or some shit, and I'm just like, nah.
The coolest thing Zac Efron did was back in 2002, where he was on 2 episodes of Firefly as young Simon. So I mean, come on.
I have no idea, man. He was okay in Sonic 2, man. That's all I know. I didn't see Sonic 1, so I don't know if he's even in that. Was he in that?
It was Marston in that one.
No, I mean, this guy says, I don't know. No. Wow. I can't do him. He's not for me. I mean, it's cool. Rob says, Baywatch.
Baywatch. Yeah, he's right in Baywatch. I like Baywatch. It was kind of funny.
Yeah,
was he in Baywatch the movie? He was in Baywatch. Okay. With the Rock.
No.
With the Rock, swimming like a dolphin.
I know what I'm about. I don't know. I guess that's not for me.
You never know, man, unless you try. That's all it's about.
I'm gonna pass on trying that one. I mean, nothing there looks good. Nothing there.
Maybe like fucking Baywatch.
Like, come on, dude. Like, no.
Wow.
I'm looking through everything, and I mean, nothing sounds good. He was in Hairspray, the remake. Think about that for a second.
I do want to see Gold though. They did cut a good trailer for that. That looks a little bit interesting, but I might check that one out. That's about it. I think they found some gold, and then the Nuggets kind of give them that disease that Stephen King had in the Tales from the Crypt movie. What's that? The Tales from the
Creep Show.
Creep Show. Yeah.
Wait, is Cody Jarrett? Is that Cody Jarrett?
Oh, I forgot his name.
Yeah, I know who you're talking about. Yeah, but no, I mean, yeah. My brother's chiming in. SpongeBob with David Hasselhoff is way better than any episode of Baywatch I've seen. We're talking about the movie, but I'm going to go ahead and say I agree with that statement.
Remember those shows though? The 80s shitty action shows. They had Baywatch. Then there was like Thunder in Paradise. Damn, what was the other one with Pamela Anderson? They was like spies or
VIP.
VIP. Yo, I watched all this shit, man. What was the other one with Egypt or I can't remember, man. This that era that had the it was like an underwater show. Then you had the Stargate, all that crazy shit. Yeah, all that weird shit, dude.
Shit, they have Baywatch Nights.
They were what?
God. Yeah, it was like he was like a detective.
So it was basically Miami Vice.
No, it was like it was trying to go like X-Files type stuff.
Oh my god! Yo,
look up Baywatch Nights, JB.
I remember it. I don't have to look it up. I remember that shit. I can't tell you what I did yesterday, but I can remember Baywatch Nights.
Baywatch Nights.
Damn.
1995. Oh my god, that looks fucking horrible.
It's like a big name actress that was.
There was 45 episodes.
Baywatch Nights have 40. Wow, Hasselhoff was eating.
Who's the main actress in that?
Was Hasselhoff in that?
Hasselhoff. Michael Burke. That's he. David Hasselhoff was the creator. Him, Angie Harmon, and Eddie.
Angie Harmon. Yeah.
Mitch Buchanan, Ryan McBride, Donna Marco, Griff Walker. Those are the character names. I mean, yeah. My favorite beach show has always been Son of the Beach.
Yeah, Son of the Beach. Son of the Beach was
nice. I remember that. Yo, that was actually hard for a little bit.
With Timothy Stacks. I mean, that was raunchy as all fucking hell.
Yeah.
But, I mean, it was good. Zac Efron was the voice of Fred and Scoop.
Oh, shit. I'm looking at...
Yeah, you're right. He was. That was like one of... That was... Personally, that was like if you look at the cast of that one for the voice acting for that Scooby-Doo movie compared to the other ones, that one's actually way shittier. I don't know what the hell there was about that one, like with the voice acting. Like they didn't get anybody really that was like part of any of the other ones. Like they recast everything fucking fresh in that one. And I didn't like that. I like it when they keep some of the actors the same personally.
JP, I don't like Zac Efron.
I don't.
Y'all remember Renegade?
No, I never watched that.
You don't remember that?
No.
Who's that guy in that fucking show, dude? It was terrible, man. But it was just I never watched it, but it would always be on.
Pacific Blue, a show about cops on bikes.
Yeah, I remember that shit too. Nightman.
Every time I hear Nightman, I think of It's Always Sunny.
Oh my god, this was a bad shit that was out.
Yeah, Nightman was like a Malibu Comics character. Raven Shadow will probably talk about that for about a day.
Oh man, I might have to have him on just to talk about that now.
Farscape.
Anyways, though, guys, it's definitely getting late. I definitely got to start wrapping this up, though. I want to thank both of you for coming on, man. It's always fucking fun talking with you guys. That's for fucking sure. Ron says, if you want to talk about weird shit, Cop Rock.
Oh, yeah. I remember Cop Rock. I remember watching the pilot episode of Cop Rock.
See, like I said, Ron's old. He knows these shows. Ron knows I love them. But anyways, before we go ahead and get out of here, I want to thank our sponsor, Go check out House of Mysterious Secrets over at houseofmysterioussecrets.com. Use our code 4130. Save 10% on all their fucking gear. They got a lot of cool horror shit if you're a fan. And also, not a sponsor. Could be if they wanted to give me some money. Check out facebook.com/fromthecanopy.
Yeah.
Go to the YouTube channel over at youtube.com/c/fromthecanopy network. Check out Corny over at Cornelius1976 on Twitter, and go to Monkey Blood. Check out Monk over on Instagram and Twitter. Dude, thank both of you so fucking much. And my
I had
god,
fun, man. This was great. I had a good time tonight, man, and I will come back anytime.
I will keep that in mind. That's for sure. I will.
I could talk shit about this movie shit wherever. Like,
I'm down. I am down. I'm 100% in. I'm making you part of the regular rotation. Have fun with this shit.
Yeah, hopefully I'm back. Again, it took like 4 years for me. You said our season 1, really?
Yeah.
And I'm just not getting invited back.
How many seasons are Tales from the Crypt?
7, 3 of a cartoon, 1 of a game show, 5 movies.
Really?
Wow.
Yes. I should not know that much about this.
Hey, man, you like what you like.
Most people don't even know about the game show.
Nah,
I didn't know about the game show.
Yeah,
that's crazy.
Lasted 1 season.
Who hosted?
John Kassir voiced the Crypt Keeper for the hosting. He was on it. Yeah. It was. I mean, it was good for what it was. I mean, it's like a horror version of Legends of the Hidden Temple type thing.
Oh, okay.
But I mean, Kid Geek, it's fun for what it was. Anyways, do you guys have anything that you want to throw out there before we go ahead and wrap this up?
First off, I thought that was going to be like a haunted version of Jeopardy.
Yeah, I just want to say, man, if you guys check out From the Canopy, it's a network, man. So we got a bunch of stuff under that umbrella. We got From the Canopy Film Show, which is current and new film reviews. We also got a show called Clashes of Cinematics, where we go and review older films, things that we saw when we were younger. I think upcoming, the next episode is going to be Aliens, and then we're going to do a Blade. Those are next on deck. So, but check those out as well. If you go to our YouTube channel, it's going to have the main feed there. He's put it up. So if you go in there, you'll see a playlist with all the current episodes from all the networks. We also have a gaming show called Game Barbecue Pit, where we talk about the latest in gaming news and reviews, what we've been playing. Also got another one that I'm messing around and experiment with, Monk's Box, where I do unboxing stuff. It's mostly sneakers, sometimes tech, and I'm going to work into toys because I'm also big in collecting toys and stuff like that, like my little guy here, so I want to start putting more of this stuff on there too, man. But check us out from the Canopy Network. There's something there for everybody,
Oh yeah, definitely. And follow them on Facebook. I mean, these guys are fucking awesome. If you, like I said before in the beginning of this episode, you might not like every show that they put out, but I guarantee they got at least one show that you're going to be into. And I mean, all I can say is check out that YouTube channel, give them a sub, check out what they got going on. You guys are fucking some pretty good guys for sure. I mean, I always have fun every time I've chatted with you guys. That's for damn sure. Thank you both so much for coming on. Corny, did you have anything else that you wanted to add before you got here?
Corey just pretty much said everything I was going to say. I'm just on the movie shows, and you can find me on Facebook, Cornelius Bros, and just see what I'm watching during the week.
Oh, and he posts pictures, and he doesn't tell you when you ask him. You gotta wait. It's on the show. he won't spoil it for you, no matter how hard you want him to. But anyways, thank you both so much. We're gonna wrap this up, get out of here, and with that being said, the crypt is closed.
Thanks for listening, kiddies. You're all a scream.